What's going on, Hardcut Bully fam? We out hard on the yard. These knuckleheads running into me. Hold up, wait a minute. Hard on the yard. I got the two out today, man. I got that boy Domino out with his son Legend. Both of them are pocket bullies. Pocket bullies 14 to 17 inches at the withers for a male. So if you want to know how to classify your dog, you classify them by measuring them to the withers. They're all classified by height. If you go to the top of his shoulders and he's over 17, then he's a standard or a classic. If he's under 17, he's a pocket. But I got Domino out with his son Legend. Legend got a beautiful coat on. That new Vet Plus got really shiny. And I wanted to talk about strength and conditioning for bullies, man. Keeping your dogs healthy and fit. And it's mainly to answer a bunch of questions that I've been getting. Like, are the dogs... I'm going to try to talk louder because this wind is up big. It's Oklahoma, y'all. So people want to know, is the dogs on weight training programs? Or, do I have them pulling sleds? Do I get into the weight pulling competitions? No, we don't do any of that. I don't really think that this breed of dog has the drive to do that, as far as sled pulling and all of that. They are work dogs, but I just don't think they're going to do what pit bulls do completely. Pit bulls are a little bit more game. They are game, so that's the difference. But mostly with the bully, why I have Domino and his son out, is I want you to understand that you need to trust the process. Now, there are certain conditioning that we get into, and you can see it right there. I was getting ready to tell you, but you can see it right there. You see, we have 2 acres out here, and we do quick, fast bursts of speed. So if you have room for that, that's exactly what you need. That would definitely keep your program healthy, because it's keeping my program healthy, very healthy. But quick bursts, a lot of running, just walking is good because of the pedigree of these dogs. They're going to get muscles. That's why I bought Domino and his son out. His son Legend is only 7 months old. And I want you to understand that you cannot do all of that stuff. You can't do weights and workouts and all of that stuff for these puppies, because you're going to mess up their natural growth plates. And they'll never turn out the way they should be. So when it's under a year old, just walking, just let him run around, and that's plenty. You do not need to be on the weights for your puppy. This is not a pit bull. You just have to trust the process, and they're going to turn to what they're going to turn into. I got to let my girl Candy Crush up. Wish I could show y'all how she looks. I want her to stand still for a second so I can show y'all what a female bully out here looks like. Candy. She's too excited. She's ready to get out. And when she get out, she's gonna be gone. I'm trying to get you a good look at her. Hey. Watch her not let her out. Off and running. Now, besides that, we have a couple more things that we can do to condition the dogs besides just running. One of those things is a flirt pole, and you can get that real cheap, $30, $18. I got some on my TikTok shop for about $18. And just having a flirt pole is a whole lot for you if you don't have a yard. If you don't have a big yard where you can let them run and everything like this, a flirt pole would be my first thing to say. You can even do that just out, in front of your apartment. It takes no space at all. But another thing that will help you is called a spring pole. I got a little bit of example of that over here today to show you from one of our sponsors. And see this is on an elastic rope. And this is, they can jump up and grab that and pull that. Certain dogs will do that all day long. You know, Domino is one of the dogs that will sit on this spring pole all day long. And there's different types of spring poles, but as you can see, this one's very cheap. It just hooks up to any tree. You got something to play with. They tore off the original one, so you know I got a Crown Royal bag down. You know I'm country. But that's the thing that they want to do is play with it. So if you don't have a lot of room, if you just got a good tree, enough room for a good tree, you can do one of these spring poles. And that'll keep them working out. That'll keep them entertained. But that's it. That's as far as you can go with these young pups under a year old. After a year old, if you decide you want to get him some weights and different things like that, you could, but mainly it's the pedigree that's gonna make him buff, man. It's not the weights. My buffest dog is Chucky, and he don't do anything but lift himself up in front of the TV and put himself back in front of the TV. That's all he do. He ain't doing none of this. And he's stronger than all. He looks stronger than everybody. He is strong too. That's another thing I will say. These muscles ain't just looks. They are actually muscles. And you can tell it even from when they're baby pups. You can it's hard to even hold these pups in your hand because they got a little bit more muscle stripped than everybody else. So what is my point? My point is for a year up to a year old, when you're up to a year old, you don't need anything extra. Trust the process. The bloodline will pan it out. You got to pick the right pup from the right breeder, from the right bloodline, and you'll be okay. But on top of that, every chance you get to let your dogs run, let your dogs walk, is going to help. Every time my dogs get out of the kennel and get on the yard, I know that makes them look a little bit better. It gets their health a little bit better because they're going to run and run and run until they're tired. I'm not going to have to tell Domino to go home. He's going to go home when he gets through running around and gets tired. And that's enough of a workout for him to get to the size that he is. And the point is because of his pedigree. It's not because of his workout. The workout is just keeping him lean. And it's also into the diet. You know, I said before we use the New Vet Plus. That's a real good supplement. It has all kind of amino acids in there, iron, glucosamine, chondroitin. I mean, just more stuff that you can think about. Folic acid, all kind of stuff. Everything that you can think of that would help your dog out. Don't let me get started. Just go to www.newvet.com and ask them, and they'll tell you. They'll sit on the phone with you and talk the whole time. There's my girl Candy right there. See, her coat is nice and shiny. New Vet Plus pills keep that going. And we only use grain-free dog food. We don't use any dog food that has grains in it, no fillers and junk. We use grain-free dog food. So it has something to do with health. Come on, y'all, come on. Because if you feed them right, then they'll have the energy to run around like this. And if you have the energy to run around like this, then you have the potential to be in shape like this. And I look at that from the first pups in the litter. I can tell when they're just a few weeks old. If they're chasing something that I put in the litter, if they put a string or something in there, they're following it, I can tell that they'll be good for the flirt pole. I can tell they'll be good for a spring pole. So that's my advice for it. spring pose, flirt pose, and get out and walking around. Or get out and running around. They'll find all kind of ways to exercise if you get them out. But that's all you need. It does not take extra weights, shots, or anything like that. Good diet and a nice routine, and trust the process. And then you got to come on off the bench for the big win and get you some hard cut, man. So